my fellow Americans, this is former President Barack Hussein Obama, and you're listening to the Mad Titan Podcast. Please be sure to support this young brother from Chicago, Jay Washington, because he's a funny bastard. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
I ignored my destiny once. I cannot do that again. Even for you. I'm the only one who knows that. At least I'm the only one with the will to act on it.
The Mad Titan Podcast with your host, Jay Washington.
What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It is episode 22 of the Mad Titan Podcast with me, your resident supervillain, Mr. Jay Washington. What's going on, people? How you doing? How you feeling? Thank you for everybody that checked out episode 21 with my guest, Jeffrey Baldinger. A lot of love on that, a lot of reviews on that. I appreciate you all. Keep those reviews coming. Keep the rating going high. Thank you to everyone who tunes in. Thank you to everybody who has just found me, who's seen me on places and like, yo, I want to hear more from dude. So I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. If you don't know what this show is, I get you caught up on everything happening in the Marvel and DC live action cinematic universes. That means if they got a cape, cowl, or mask, I'm talking about it. This is barbershop talk for nerds. We keep this shit A100. So if you don't like to get your feelings hurt sometimes, you might want to stop the podcast and give you a chance to go.
Take your bitch ass on.
And that wasn't even me saying that. That's my guest for this week. He's been on before. You see him now with me on the Doom Patrol reviews. It's one Mr. Winston Marshall. Somehow he just eased his way into the whole scenario. He was like, this is part of my evil plan.
Hey, man, look, I told you I grew up amongst white people. You just slide in real quick and then steal the culture. You slide back out.
I ain't got no culture ready for you to steal shit.
Also, I'm going to need you to start addressing me with my actual Winston A. Marshall. Can you include the A, please? Like, I feel like you just out here robbing me of my identity.
Nigga, you sound like Wheezy. Wheezy and baby,
and don't
please.
Forget the F.
Don't forget the F.
Baby.
Yeah, okay. What's going on, man?
I'm chilling, bro. I'm excited. It's Captain Marvel week. I'm not as hooked up as you, so I didn't get to go to no screeners. So that's what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah, man. I saw that. I want to talk a little bit about it. We'll get into it in a minute, but if you want my full review, and it is a spoiler, you want my full review, go over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/JAY-Washington80, youtube.com/JAY-Washington80. It is a spoiler review. I literally had somebody comment on there who was like, man, spoilers already? Unsubscribe. Motherfucker, you don't have to watch it.
It's also in the title. So like, I just like, you know what it is, man? God, who were they talking about that shit was hilarious? Say what you gonna say. I'm gonna find the meme I was talking about because it's fucking funny. About people being like, man, I didn't know that shit was gonna happen. And then when you got warnings all throughout it. All right, I'm gonna take outside the Nerdverse for half a second. I'm not gonna lie, I have a guilty pleasure of watching The Bachelor. I do that with my girl and all that shit. But long story short, the whole season, they done told him, like every girl that left to say, hey, watch out for this girl, Cassie. She gonna break your heart. She ain't ready for no marriage. For 5 episodes. And then when he goes, I want to marry you, she goes, yeah, I don't want to get married. That's okay. And she dipped. And he's all confused, like, what? I didn't know this was coming. Nigga, you got warnings for 5-6 fucking episodes. That's your own goddamn fault. So if you can't read that it says spoiler on the review, kill yourself. Oh, no, that's terrible. You just said all that shit about Brody. Now I feel like an asshole. You sure you want me on the podcast today, man?
I'm really reevaluating all this shit right now. This motherfucker went all through that deep end. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say how are you? How are you doing? But
I'm good.
Clearly, you're a dick.
I'm good, brother.
You're a dick. Clearly, wow. This is what happens when you open the door to black folks.
They come in and put their feet on your couch.
All over the couch. Oh my God, man. But yeah, Captain Marvel drops tonight, the night we're recording it. So please go check it out, man. It's a great movie. I like it. Let's get right into it, man, with Marvel news. Captain Marvel is the top thing I want to discuss. So I saw it. Overall, I liked it. The reason I liked it, I dug it, is because I know what Marvel's setting up. Mm-hmm. I know what the movie is. Mm-hmm. I know it's not this big, gigantic, it's a blockbuster film, but it's not this big, gigantic, oh my God, you got to see her. Mm-hmm. It's the setup so you know how she got to be where she is, so you know where she's going. It's the setup to Endgame. Because if you just brought Captain Marvel in Avengers Endgame and ain't tell nobody who she is, where she came from, and then try to do the origin story later, people will be hella pissed.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I will say this, if you haven't seen some of the reviews that have been non-spoiler, one of the best things you'll hear are Goose the Cat and Ben Mendelsohn steal the show.
All right, I will look out for both of them tonight.
You can't miss him. Ben Mendelsohn plays Talos, the head scroll.
Okay, word.
And so you can't miss him, and Goose the Cat is everywhere. You'll see Goose. So It's a dope movie though. Like, there's a lot of dudes online. I keep talking about these whiny nerds. Like, all of us are nerds, but there's these whiny. Oh man, I don't like change. I don't like strong women having movies. What do we have to put a strong?
Wait, the funniest one, because we were talking about this shit on Twitter about that one chick that was like, Captain Marvel is and always will be a man. I'm not giving them 1 red cent. And it's like, bitch, Captain Marvel been a woman for over 3 decades.
Three decades. They've been changed Shazam the other Captain Marvel to Shazam for the longest.
But not only that, like, come on now, are you an idiot? Obviously, those are two very, like, even if she was maybe talking about Marvel. Again, Marvel's whole thing is he's around for a minute, dies, and essentially gives off his abilities to Carol. So what are you talking about? Like, I don't know, man.
Some people just want to be mad and upset about shit. Talking about, oh, we should boycott it. Oh, this is going to be some social justice warrior thing. First of all, what is wrong with social justice? Nothing. And a lot of people that holler about it, you sit in your fucking basement. You know what I'm saying? Stop all that. I just think people need to calm down a lot of times. And this movie is good. This movie is good. This movie is not, it's not the greatest Marvel movie. It's not meant to be.
Right.
It's not meant to be. It's a dope Marvel film, and you get a lot of great cameos, and you get a lot of great tie-ins as to how stuff happened. It is a 90s film. It's set in the 90s. So if you ain't a 90s fan, you might want to catch up, because it's going to be 90s. It's set in 1995.
That was a good year.
That was a damn good year.
Yeah.
I think that was the year I lost my virginity.
Good for you. I still had, like, a long time to go.
Hey,
granted,
man.
I was also not even 10 yet, so.
Oh, well, we're different. We're different on that end, because I was 15.
Okay, there you go. I was born in 87, man, so like I was
trying to lose my virginity at 12, and it couldn't happen. But nonetheless, here we are.
Well, you know all the people that are complaining about it being a social justice film and having strong women, I bet you they're also all virgins. That's why they're complaining so damn much.
Yeah, it seems like it, because that's really the crazy part. Like, oh, why does it have to be this? And what is wrong with it just being things the way it are without having an agenda? There's no agenda. It's just the fucking person. Also, if there is an agenda, when people always say that, art imitates life.
Yep.
Art imitates life, plain and simple. And for people to try to dismiss that is to dismiss the art in itself. And I think that is so freaking dumb. What you think?
No, I completely agree. It's the same people that were bitching and moaning about Black Panther. It's the same people that were bitching and moaning about the new Star Wars trilogy. Like, you're exactly right. They're so bent and held, like, on the one hand, they sit here and they go, I want more, give me more of the stuff. And then you give them more of it and they bitch and moan about how they don't want change. So I just feel like, you know what? I'm all for it. I hope we see more stuff like this. I hope that, like, because we got the Black Widow film coming down the pipeline, which is going to be amazing. Like, we already had the first Wonder Woman, so you got the sequel coming up in a couple of years, which is going to be amazing.
No, next year.
I thought they pushed it back. Oh, that was in 2018, so they get pushed to 2020.
Yeah, it's 2020.
So it was 2 years in my brain, but we've since moved.
But we talked about how your brain is fucked up. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead. I digress.
But to that point, man, I find it very interesting that the loudest people are the ones that need to shut the fuck up the most.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's ridiculous that people are trying to give, and then, like I said, I've said it before and I will continue to say it. The people that were hollering, oh, Brie Larson doesn't want white journalists. Most of y'all aren't even fucking journalists. So shut the fuck up. But nonetheless, go see it with an open mind. Go see it with a completely, non-biased landscaping your brain, because if you do that, it will help you judge and gauge whether you really like the film or not. Because a lot of people don't want to do that now. They just want to go, oh, this is going to suck. I just know it's going to suck. Like, how? Oh, I know it's going to suck from the trailers. Stop.
I mean, I feel like real talk. Like, we out here talking black real quick. That to me in a lot of ways ends up being the black man struggle, is watching people bitch and moan about shit and thinking that they know everything when they don't know a
goddamn thing at all. Yeah, but that's the day and age in which we live in. Let's go on to the next subject. Next story. So the Morbius movie is definitely still happening. In case you were hoping it didn't, but. Jared Leto is still playing Michael Morbius. He took a picture to Instagram to remind us, this movie is still happening. Also, there has been a new cast member added. A couple of new cast members been added. The first one is Jared Harris. Now, if you know Jared Harris, he's in Sherlock Holmes' Game of Shadows. Yeah. He played Moriarty. Okay. He's a well-established actor. My nerd brain, I did a stand-up show out here, and I saw him sitting in the front row, and I didn't know he was the comic who puts the shows together on Husband. And I was like, yo, where do I know dude from? Did not think about freaking Moriarty. Did not think about freaking... And I was sitting down, and I saw him staring in front of me. I was like, where do I know him from? And my nerd brain goes to one place. I was like, yo, you played Dr. Ashford in Resident Evil Apocalypse. There it is. And so he was super cool, and we actually became cool. We talked, I didn't try to get the freaking pictures out of him and everything, and I was glad to hear that. So his role is undisclosed at the moment right now. There is also somebody else who has been cast in Morbius, which I'm like, holy shit.
Who?
Tyrese Gibson.
Nuh-uh.
Fast and the Furious star Tyrese Gibson has been cast as well in Morbius. It's an undisclosed role. Now, it's kind of weird because remember, he was pitching and petitioning the hardest to try to be Jon Stewart, to be the Green Lantern. So that is not happening.
Thank God that's not happening. I don't want that. There's not a single thing about him playing Jon Stewart that sounds like a good time for anybody, dog. Jon Stewart ain't supposed to be bitching and crying on camera and shit, man. Like, I can't have none of that.
What do you want from me?
You know who's also going to be out there running because he be crying like a bitch?
Who?
Robert. Of course, I'm talking about Robert Kelly.
Oh, that motherfucker going to be out there running for freedom. This race shit. He's gonna be out the race for freedom. So I mean, let's just keep it real. But that's the case. Nonetheless, Tyrese and Jared Harris are joining Morbius. So they're trying to get some nice star power, if you will, behind this film. I guess Sony wants to make sure they are doing this in the right way, since Venom was a blockbuster success.
Yeah. I don't know how. I mean, look, I enjoy Venom, but a blockbuster success though, for real?
That movie made over $800 million fucking dollars.
Not in America though. That was definitely a worldwide
doesn't matter.
Shit. No,
doesn't matter.
I know.
Like I try to feel this. I used to feel the same way. It was like, well, it wasn't here in the States, but now it seems as if more and more studios are basing their films off of what the international box office is going to be, because they. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I mean, that's smart, though. Like, this is, at the end of the day, this is a business. And so if that's how you're going to make money, like, that's why there's been infinite Fast and Furious movies, is because that shit does extremely well in China and Japan.
People like to see shit blow up.
Yeah. So that's fine. Sorry, you got this TV on. I don't fucks with Papa John's, but why that pizza look good, though?
Hey, man, better ingredients, better racism. But yeah, so I'm happy to hear about that. In other Marvel news, there are actually more developments happening about the Black Widow film. Now, I told you in the previous episode that the script is being currently rewritten, and now it seems that Emma Watson, Hermione Granger, may play opposite Scarlett Johansson as a lead in the film, and potentially Andre Holland from the movie Moonlight, not Trevante Rose, the other black dude, because I know some of y'all don't know how to separate your black dudes. The other one.
Not the one that just won for Green Book either, not Mahershala.
Not Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
Not him either. So it's 3 different black dudes. There's the third. But he talks to be the lead for the Black Widow film. And the reason being is they liked his audition, and they need somebody who can pull off the look of strong, smart, sexy, and deceiving and conniving at the same time. What are your thoughts on the Black Widow movie in itself?
Well, I mean, it's very funny, man. Like, the one thing that I've said about the Black Widow movie that I've always felt is, like, I was getting a little pissy about Scarlett Johansson out here whitewashing every character that she possibly could, especially when I'm like, girl, do you understand that you have one of the biggest names in, like, a franchise possible? Like,
right.
Like, staying in light, like, I'm not saying don't go do your movies, But like you got this in the bank, and Black Widow has been one of those characters that we've really enjoyed seeing since Iron Man 2. So I think it's about goddamn time that she got her own movie. So I'm very excited to see that they're starting to put some real shit together here.
Do you think it's about time, or do you feel like this solo film is too late? And the only reason I say that is because we've had Scarlett Johansson for 10 years as Black Widow now.
True.
I think if we were going to get a Black Widow film, we should have gotten it somewhere in either phase 1 or early phase 2.
It should have been phase 2. It should have been phase 2 for sure. I think what they did with phase 1 was done properly. I think they got everything that they needed. So I think the answer would have been phase 2. I think that would have been appropriate. At worst, phase 3, we should have been seeing it by now. So I agree with you. The timing kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if we're being honest, if you look at a lot of the Marvel stuff, even though she's always back and forth with S.H.I.E.L.D., back and forth with the Avengers, she's not always necessarily been at the center of anything like that. So it kind of feels like the same way that they eventually give a mainstay character their own spin-off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what this feels like right now. That to me is what this like, in the same way that they did like a short run with Gambit for a while. Like everybody loved Gambit, and so like they gave him his own little spin-off from like an X-Men comic series.
Well, remember he was supposed to get his own movie, but clearly that wasn't going to happen.
Well, because the origin shit was trash.
No, that's because you got Channing Tatum attached to it. That is still my wholesome belief that the reason the Gambit movie never came to fruition is Channing Tatum.
It was going to be Gambit?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
went to 3 different directors potentially. And now it's just like, nah.
Better than Taylor Kitsch's fucking...
I think Taylor Kitsch deserved that opportunity.
I do, but I just think that... But then again, like, I don't blame him for that. It was just a bad movie. Like, that's the thing. It was just a terrible...
Yeah, Wolverine Origins X-Men Origins Wolverine was a bad movie. And matter of fact, if you go to the Patreon, to the Supervillain Squad, you can hear... Well, that's not going up yet. I'll tell you about it in a few. Go ahead. That's fine,
because you'll cover that about your Patreon later. I just thought that was interesting that Van Lathan and Jamel Hill decided they wanted to set the internet ablaze and talk about like name a trilogy better than the Batman.
Oh, I beat that. I already told him.
And then the X-Men, and then they rank all the X-Men movies, which I can't believe that you put Apocalypse below Wolverine Origins. But
X-Men Apocalypse is the worst shit ever in history.
Not as bad as Origins, dog. How you gonna tape Deadpool's mouth? That's fine. I'm not gonna take away from your Patreon content.
No, that's bad. But shit, just like fucking Ivan Oozalips.
Well, that was bad too. I'm not gonna lie, but like the Quicksilver scene, even though it was a rehash of what we saw in Days of Future Past, at least you got another one of those. At least Nightcrawler's involved. Like there was at least a few things in there that were like fine. You weren't going full fuck all the canon you've ever gotten from your X-Men shit ever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, beside the point.
Yeah.
Black Widow. Excited to see it. Emma Watson is an amazing actress, so like whatever they decided what role they're putting her. Did you know what role they're putting her in?
It's undisclosed, but it just says she will be lead opposite Scarlett Johansson.
Let's go.
So I think Hermione Granger can do that.
You think she might be Viper? Madam Viper?
We get a real good Madam Viper. Black Widow versus Madam Viper. I can see that.
Do you think Emma Watson has the chops to do that? Like, she's a wonderful actress. I just never really thought of her as like an action star, to be honest with you. Like, Harry Potter is a different type of action. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. But you got to remember, we've had actors who've gone into roles who we didn't think could do anything like this. And they totally surprise us.
That's true.
So, I mean, it'd be interesting to see. Now, I've seen Hermione do action in a sense in This Is the End. To an extent.
I forgot she did some of that.
Yeah, she was in This Is the End. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, like I said, I have strong beliefs that she can pull it off. If she grabs it. Florence Pugh from Fighting With My Family, and I forgot one other woman that also auditioned for it as well. But we'll see. Like I said, I've learned to start to trust these studios, especially even Warner Brothers now because of the direction that they're going in, trusting them with what they're going to do with all this content because, of course, they have to appease fans.
Yeah.
Because it's easy for them to be like, yeah, people are just gonna go see it, but you got to keep people coming back.
Well, of course, that's exactly why Warner Brothers realized they had to almost do like a soft reboot on everything and just essentially pretend like Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Justice League didn't happen, and really just rest your laurels on Wonder Woman, Aquaman, what's about to be Shazam, and then anything else going forward. Like, you kind of needed to. Because if you have a hot mess on your hands, the point is to make money. You're not going to make no goddamn money if nobody shows the fuck up.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, Captain Marvel comes out this weekend. Again, you just want movies to be great. But we'll talk about DC, matter of fact, right now. And some great DC news that I have. So, we got a new Shazam trailer drop first. The trailer dropped. It showed a little bit more of Shazam learning to use his abilities. I just had my only issue of the movie, and I know some people who have seen it already. They have said what they said, and I can't reveal that. But my issue is Zachary Levi's portrayal of Shazam. Here's what I mean. Asher Angel plays regular Billy Batson one way. Zachary Levi plays grown-up, adult-powered Billy Batson a completely different way.
I see what you're going with this.
It's not they're not playing the same character.
Right. No, I agree, because that's the whole thing, is that it's supposed to be the best movies that you see like that, the Freaky Fridays, the 13 going on 30s, all that kind of stuff. The idea is, or even like, if take it outside of neither of that was nerdy shit, but even like you look right now, the biggest show with that is This Is Us.
Yes.
You have the fact that you literally have 3 different sets of actors playing these characters
Throughout time.
You literally have to see the through line there, otherwise it destroys everything. So that
Absolutely.
that disturbs me a little bit. If that's the case, I'm a little less excited about this film.
But that's the thing I've heard. Not heard. That's the thing I saw. And so that is my only concern with it. Literally, my only concern. I'm here for the movie. I'm ready to see it. The trailer pumped me up a little bit more.
Right.
So I'm like, let's go ahead and do this. So that drops April 5th. Screenings are happening now. That is actually a good sign. If studios are willing almost a month out to say, let's start screening this movie.
Yeah.
Let's start screaming it.
But that means that they're about ready. They're wrapped up. They want this fire train to get going. So like, again, from the trailers and everything, things do look good. But I agree with you. I think it felt more, instead of Zachary Levi, like the more that I think about it, instead of him playing to the younger actor, he seems to just be trying to play a child.
Right, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I think they should have gotten together and talked about how would they play the character. Because this way, the Asher Angel Batson is one thing, the Levi Batson is another. But I trust it. I think Freddie Freeman gonna steal the show anyway.
Probably.
I think Freddie gonna steal the show. Jack Dylan Grace is gonna steal the show. What other news do I have? Ooh, this is some good news for you guys. Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad news. First thing, this is the biggest news to come to the Suicide Squad. Now, it's pretty much almost secure that Margot Robbie's going to be staying. We talked about last week how Will Smith will not be doing it because he'd rather be teaming with an orc cop again. Basically, because it's scheduled. Pretty much, and be a blue fucking genie. But now we thought Deadshot would not be in the squad. It seems that Deadshot will be. And who's going to be playing Deadshot? None other than Idris Elba.
Hey, let's go.
Yo.
Let's go. Look, like, we couldn't get him as Batman. I would love to see him as Flint Lawton. Like, is that
Floyd Lawton?
I thought it was Flint, nigga.
Floyd.
You know I'm just terrible with names. Look, y'all, I swear I know all the things. I'm just really bad with names. That's just how it is. But my point is, him as Deadshot I think would be great, especially from the standpoint that, like, this feels very reminiscent of Terrence Howard getting replaced by Don Cheadle.
But I think the difference is Terrence Howard found out he was replaced while drinking his morning coffee, reading the paper, nigga.
No.
That man was at home like, what's up, man? I'm out here and get some coffee. All right, what's in the paper, man? Like, oh, shit, man, they replaced me. Tony! You know, that's pretty much
Cook it. I can't do a very good Terrence Howard impression. I do a lot of
You sounded like somebody's uncle.
Cook it! Cook it! Get your ass in here, cook it. Look, all I was gonna say is though, like, it's one of those things that I remember reading that at first when Don Cheadle was taking over and being kind of upset about it, but then Don Cheadle making it his own, and I feel like that was an amazing casting job. I think that this might be a similar thing. I don't think that Idris is like a better or worse actor than Will, but I think what Idris will bring to the table is going to be fucking phenomenal, man.
I knew this was gonna start happening with Idris as more supervillain-esque when I saw the trailer for Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, granted, yes, he was Heimdall. I get it. But they barely had him do shit until Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I was like, when I saw him as the villain of Hobbs and Shaw, I said, yep, Idris Elba is eventually going to be a fucking superhero, supervillain.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know what? I'm cool with it, though. I'm happy to hear that. So now there also have been mentioned the newest members of the Suicide Squad that are supposed to be coming along. So we already have Harley Quinn.
See, you fuck up names, too.
I was reading something else and saw in my brain went Haley. Harley Quinn, Deadshot. Now we're supposed to get Ratcatcher, a.k.a. Otis Flanagan, who's a man in the DC Comics. He will be a gender swapped and played by a woman, and he's a super criminal and one of Batman's main enemies. Now, she started out as an exterminator in Gotham City before turning into a life of crime. King Shark is going to be one of them.
Interesting.
Yeah. Polka Dot Man.
Ha! For real?
Yeah.
He's probably going to die soon.
Well, that's because he can he grows multicolored polka dots on his body.
Right.
They can turn into fireballs and other weapons.
Right.
And for the most part, he's embarrassed about his ability to do that shit.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, because you know, a Suicide Squad story doesn't work unless people start dying. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Polka Dot Man is gonna be the first one to go.
Man, you said they're gonna do him like they did Slipknot.
Yeah, somebody has to die. But what's the point of Suicide Squad? Ain't nobody dying.
What are we, some type of Suicide Squad?
Yes, you are.
Oh my God. Who else? What are we, some type of Suicide Squad? And also there'll be Peacemaker, aka Christopher Smith, who is an agent of peace whose motives are driven by an extreme force of pacifism that makes him love peace so much he would kill for it.
So weird.
That is terrifying. I love peace so much I'll murder bitches for it.
Oh, that is some that's a unique motivation, man. Hey, nigga, I love fucking beer. I love food so goddamn much, nigga. I fucking don't need it ever. I don't need a
I don't know how you reach for that, but
I don't know. The nigga, you try some shit. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't work. Whatever. Cookie. Save my empire, cookie.
Speaking of Suicide Squad, Joel Kinnaman will not be returning as Rick Flag. I want to give a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, praise God.
I appreciate you, James Gunn. I feel like you're behind this somehow. You're still not officially tied to the movie.
He is. James Gunn's the director and writer.
So it's official.
It's beneficial. What the fuck have you been?
They've been talking about it for months. And
Where have you been?
Bro, I brought it up the last time I was here. You're like, that's not official yet.
I did not say that. That shit's beneficial.
Okay, well then I still, like I said, I
See,
think
you trying to lie me on my fucking show, motherfucker. Oh, horrible ass black dude. I'll never bring this bastard back. Fuck.
That's fine, nigga. I'll sneak in the back.
Yeah, probably. Where the fuck are my keys? But he will not be returned as Rick Flag. You know, a lot of people are upset because they feel like the character was underutilized, which it was. Mm-hmm. But also, Joel Kinnaman gave a horrid performance as Rick Flag. So
they were just bad performances all around. I did not enjoy Jared Leto's Joker at all.
You mean the Grand Theft Auto Joker? I will not.
Like it was a mess. It was a fucking mess. It was a tonal mess.
I just want to know who told Jared, yeah, that's the best way to go about with your accent, with your Joker. Go ahead and go
It felt like he was trying to like sort of piggyback off of Heath. Remember when he walked in that one time, he was like,
yeah, but Heath's was a different one. It had
I completely agree.
I completely had emotion to it and shit.
No, I completely agree.
You know, just it is what it is.
You know what we need? I need someone to portray it, but to lip sync fucking Mark Hamill the whole time. That's what I need. You do that, and I'm totally down with whoever plays Joker next.
I just had to grab my sinuses, ladies and gentlemen, because leave Mark Hamill alone. I mean, we want that man as the Joker, but we only want him by voice, which is crazy.
But here's the thing, though. And like, real talk, I know Mark is getting a little older. I know Mark is putting on a little bit of weight. Unless Mark is trying to get into supervillain shape for the Joker right now. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
Nah, not really. Not really. I ain't gonna say you're wrong at all.
Unless they're gonna CGI his ass. I'm fine with that.
CGI his ass, though?
They would need to.
Just his ass?
I mean, by his ass is in like his whole personage, but yes, his ass specifically will need to be shrunk down, I'm sure.
And why you want his ass shrunk?
Again, I don't know. The Joker's always been a fucking real skinny, like whatever dude. He's just an older dude. They gotta get the wrinkles out his ass. I hope Mark Hamill isn't listening to this and hates me forever because
he will. He will.
I am the biggest Mark Hamill fan that I know. So.
He will. Guaranteed he will.
God damn it.
But also, you sound real hurt when I said that.
I am, man.
Also, in some DC news, it's kind of somber, but some people said it's about time. Arrow will be ending its 8th season, and it will be ending with 10 episodes, which by definition is the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths. So we'll find out what deal Oliver made with the Monitor in Elseworlds, and more than likely he sacrifices his life. So, I mean, Stephen Amell put out a post on social media saying that, it's time to move on. He was like, he was a young and inexperienced actor when he first took the role. Now he's grown and everything. And I agree. I don't think we can be upset for him leaving. First of all, without that show, we would not have an Arrowverse.
Exactly.
We wouldn't have The Flash. We wouldn't have Legends of Tomorrow. Supergirl might have, been whatever. Batwoman is just now weird. That's going to be weird now that Arrow is gone and Batwoman is going to start. But
I would venture this. I would bet you that while the show may be over, we will still get plenty of cameos and guest stars from the Arrow show people.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Even potentially Stephen Amell occasionally, like whether or not Oliver sacrifices his life or not, I bet you we will still find a way that he will find a way back in. But I understand being like, look, I've made my money. I've done my time. I'm seeing other opportunities. Like, I remember watching Law & Order SVU when Christopher Maloney left, being real butthurt about it because I was just like, fuck, man, like, without Stabler, this is Benson and Stabler. How is this going to work? But look how many seasons it went without it. I think that losing Arrow is going to be a sad day, but you're right. It's time.
Well, my problem I have, too, is Flash has lost a lot of its luster. The Flash has its ups and downs. This season is not as high as it should be, as much as they pumped it up to be, but it's not that. And when you bring in Oliver, when you bring in members of Team Arrow over there, it helps boost the show for some reason.
Yeah. Well, because we all love a crossover. That's the main reason. And the same, anytime any of those shows have any sort of crossover or something extra, like part of the things that I like about Supergirl right now, I know you don't really talk about it that much because you don't like watching it. But they're doing Supergirl versus the Elite right now. She's actually fighting the Elite, which is actually a really cool fucking storyline that they're going into right now. And I think it's kind of the same thing. I agree with you. I do think that Flash has kind of lost a little of its luster this season. I personally have not been the biggest fan of this season of Arrow. It's been okay. I'm not as interested in the Flash Forward that's happening.
I think the problem with that, and then they're trying to pick up heavily from season 5. That Prometheus season was great.
Yeah.
That Prometheus season was great. And it was hard for them to pick back up from that. So,
no, but I agree. I mean, so again, to that point, it's time to maybe move on, like you said. But I will say that I'm glad to finally, like, for anybody that saw, do you do spoilers on this shit for episodes?
Yes, absolutely.
So,
but hold on, we're finna go into the episode, so let me do my job. Let me run my show.
I thought we were just talking about Arrow in general.
No, we were talking about the news.
This is your show.
We're gonna talk about Arrow.
Go.
This recent episode is the first episode back after their little mini break.
Y'all need to see the face he gave me. It's the dirtiest fucking look. Like, this nigga look like he gonna come to my house and muff me in my sleep. Like, he's not gonna shoot me. He's not gonna stab me. He's gonna wait till I'm comfortable. Just.
And if you don't know what a muff is, it's when you take your whole hand and push the shit out of the side of somebody's face and just punch it in your mouth. It's like a mush in the face. Arrow this week, so Laurel started out by knowing that Felicity was pregnant, and eventually she tells Oliver, and Oliver's like, you got children, we have a baby, my sperm works, finally. Like, you can't tell me they hadn't been going raw all these years.
Nigga, my whole thought process is Oliver Queen is a rich bastard. He been getting all the vasectomy.
Is he rich anymore?
It's clearly still, how the fuck you afford a custom security system in a penthouse?
Remember, Felicity was the CEO of Palmer Tech.
I mean, okay, fine. That is a valid point. But long story short, all of his bachelor years when he was out here doing the shit, I guarantee you he either had a vasectomy or just paid for every abortion ever known to man.
Well, his mama paid for one, supposedly.
Supposedly.
And the girl
actually didn't.
And
Now he has 2 children.
He has 2 babies.
2 babies.
2 babies.
That they finally, at the end of the episode before, they finally met, and now we got a chance for them to really talk, which, the name of the episode was Brothers and Sisters. I really enjoyed the fact that they did kind of track that throughout. They had they had Will and his Mia like talking and getting a chance to get together. And then Emiko actually has spending time with Oliver.
And that was what I was going to bring up, because we find out at the end of the episode that Emiko is actually working for Dante, and we started first time seeing Dante, and Dante is fucking Duncan MacLeod. Dante is Duncan MacLeod. Adrian Paul is playing Dante. I was like, well, all right, hot damn it. One of the best parts also, Ricardo Diaz is dead to the motherfucker.
Bro, that was what I was going to talk about. I was so excited to finally see that nigga just get murked so hard.
So if you don't know what happened, again, we do spoilers on this show. Ricardo Diaz is back after he tried the double cross the Ghost Initiative in Argus. They sent him back to Blackheart Prison, whatever it was. And in his prison, the sprinkler system goes off, and it's not water, it's gasoline. And all that opens is this little tray door, and he was like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?"
No, not even who are you. He just says, "What are you doing?" He knows who it is. He's like, "What are you doing here?"
And all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's just a lighter. And the fucked up thing was, he catches the light.
He tried to catch it and try to muff it out, and it's just too late.
Yeah, that whole nigga on fire. He tried to catch it and just went click. And by that time, I was like, this motherfucker was getting toasted.
I was finally happy to see him go, especially because Felicity had her crisis moment where she was like, is she going to kill him again or not?
Yo, she hacked Argus to get into the bomb in his head and was like, well, as soon as this mission's done, I'm going to blow this motherfucker head out. I'm going to blow the back of your goddamn head off. I was like, oh.
But, shouts out to Diaz. Rest in peace, man. It's about time for you to go. But I will say the thing that I'm starting to get annoyed with what they keep doing is this weird family double cross shit. They do it in the Flash with Excess working with fucking Reverse Flash. They're doing it now in Arrow where Emiko apparently works with Dante. Like, this shit's getting like very predictable. It's getting annoying.
I don't know why we need so many double crosses and triple crosses. Like, I understand you want to have an extra element to it, but I like using this word now because it happens a lot. You convolute the story.
I agree.
You convolute the story when it doesn't need to be.
Right.
You make shit more difficult that doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to have all these extra twists and turns. There can be one twist, one plot. And I get Arrow is 23 episodes, and so you want to do that to keep it fresh and keep it moving in a sense. But sometimes you just do too much.
I agree.
So let's go on to Black Lightning is back.
I saw a superhero. I heard that he was black. I told the whole streets.
Black
Lightning is back.
He said, this is for the streets. Black Lightning is back. That's what he says. I like this episode because we got a lot. The tone and tempo changed a bit because we see Jefferson in the class grading papers because he didn't want his job as principal, which is smart. Remember the last episode? He couldn't take his job as principal because he knew of his responsibilities as Black Lightning.
It was a mix of things. I think that was the main one. But let's not forget, there's also something to be said about stability for children, man, to keep going back and forth with the principals. I know they kind of wanted Jefferson, but he was like, I do have responsibilities as a superhero. And like, as long as this nigga ain't wilding and being racist, like as long as we can keep him in check, because now he almost lost his job, I think like he acknowledged that they could work together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was I digress. Go ahead.
To see Lala return was great.
That was dope.
I like seeing Lala. When I saw the fact that Lala shot him, I was like, he shot him!
I literally thought to myself, I was like, is he like, at what point is he just gonna like deflect the bullet? And then I was like, is he gonna pull it out? And that was cool when he said fucking, oh!
The thing was, remember when Lala was in the room, he said these cameras are recording everything.
Oh, it was the cameras. I thought Lala was gonna shoot the cameras and he didn't.
If Lala would have shot the cameras,
he probably would have done
He'd have fried the fuck out of Lala.
Yeah.
Like, you old bitch. But the thing is, they keep making Lala mad. He called him by his real name, Latavius. Latavius.
Yo, you do a really good impression, man, of Pierce.
Oh, you ready to hear my Jefferson Pierce?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Everybody's heard on the podcast, or better yet, the Black Lightning reviews I do with Ashley Robinson. The whole purpose of Black Lightning is to catch Tobias, who killed my father.
Yo. Yes, sir.
Bravo. Thank you,
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm available.
Didn't you interview the cast of Black Lightning?
I've interviewed them several times.
Have they heard you do that?
Hell no, they haven't.
Why not? That's a good fucking impression, man.
I'm gonna do it when I see Crest at Comic Con.
Okay, cool.
When I see Crest at Comic Con, I'll do it then. But yeah, it's dope to see that. You wonder, like, 'cause last time we saw Lala, he was blown to bits.
No. The last time we saw Lala, Tobias choked him out in the jail.
Oh yeah, he choked him out in the no.
They did the flashback of it when this started. The last time that we saw Lala, because he went to grind, he was brought back to life. He was sent to go try and kill Black Lightning. He couldn't do it, so he was in the jail, and Tobias goes, well, you failed me, nigga. And he choked him the fuck out in the jail.
I don't think that was it. I think that nigga, okay. I think I'm missing something else. But nonetheless, you might be right. I watch a lot of these episodes. I watch a lot of these TV shows,
That's
okay?
fair. That's
this
fair.
shit get mixed together. But to see him back, to see LaWanda back, to see Will back, the voices of the souls, the tattoos that are on his chest were a great thing to see.
You gonna call me unprofessional? Your computer gonna be making noises, nigga?
Hey man, my Windows is in danger, probably because I watch too much porn. I need to get a new antivirus. I'll do that later.
Fair.
I'm gonna try to find one online that I can get for free and download it. Hopefully it don't have no viruses when I'm trying to download it.
Man, can I tell you this one time somebody with it was like, yo, you gotta check out this antivirus software, and then proceeded to put a virus on my motherfucking computer.
You should have fought them.
I did. I was mad as
should have
fuck.
fought them.
I was mad as fuck. I almost lost everything on my computer. Fortunately, I had everything backed up. I was mad than a motherfucker.
You sound hostile. But the fact that we see who reanimates Lala is basically Eddie Kane Jr. Eddie Kane.
Mm-hmm.
You see Jen trying to get her suit.
Yeah.
See fucking Gabby is trying to show her different things.
She starts moonwalking until she starts a
fire. But she was the way when she looking at the suit, she's like, hey, I got an idea. Can we do something like this? He was like, this is not a pop star thing.
It's like, no, I want you to put the low cut here with the up on the stomach here and a little bit with my ass out here. And it's like, girl, what the fuck are you doing?
Protecting you trying to do? What type of protecting you trying to do out here twerking all your butt cheeks? All your booty meat out here twerking. But we see that Anissa is trying to deal with the whole finding Grace. And then she discovers that there is a shapeshifter and that Grace may be in trouble. But what she doesn't know is that the shapeshifter is actually Grace.
Eating whole horses, nigga. Like the guts hanging out the horse.
First of all, how hungry do you have to be to eat a horse?
Isn't that the old turn of phrase, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse? That's why.
That's where it came from.
That's exactly where it came
Somebody's
from.
around here nibbling on horses. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. Nom, 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 nom. What does it taste like, the McRib?
Oh no, now I have to associate the McRib with fucking horse meat. Oh Jesus. So I guess I'm
You ain't on kangaroo meat? You never had that? Nah. But what do you think? What do you think so far of the episode? How they've been going? How the development into Jen being a hero now?
In my opinion, the strongest of all of the Berlanti CW shows has been Black Lightning by far. They not only in their ability to really deal with themes that are real in the world.
Yeah.
But I think that sorry, what was the question?
How are you enjoying? This motherfucker went.
It was tied to it. I just need to remember.
How are you enjoying the season?
That's my point.
And this episode.
Specifically, that's my point.
Yeah.
Is that I really appreciate the fact that they're not doing too many twists. They're keeping it very simple. These are the main issues right now.
Yes.
We have the pod children. We have the fact that, you know.
Oh, let's talk about the other the Masters of Disaster.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, let's talk about them. He opened up all these different burly ass niggas. Like, oh, these prison ass niggas for real. Like when you go ahead and do casting in Atlanta, we like, yo, we need somebody to look like they just got out. What you mean just got out? Like 2 days before they got here.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. No, I think that they are doing a very good job of just keeping, here are our main storylines, let's do it. There's not a lot of crazy twists, just shit happens, which is life. Life is not about a bunch of ridiculous surprise, bitch. It's just like shit happens, you know what I'm saying?
But also there are different things that happen in people's lives, and with the story there are different things that happen.
Right.
But the one thing is they all go their separate ways, but then they meet into one road.
Exactly.
And they all work together. So I'm always a fan of the show. I've always been since episode 1, so I'm still here with it. On The Flash, Jesse L. Martin is back, baby. Finally.
God, I don't know. And I'm curious. I would venture a guess that it was Jesse that maybe wanted to take the hiatus. So
he had a back injury. He had an injury from on set, so he had been off for a while.
Got it. So that's kind of funny that the nod and homage was they were like, my life was in chaos, so I went and saw Wally and meditated, and now I feel better. Like that sounds like what he did. If he had a back injury, he was at home meditating, and now here he is again. But I'm glad to have him back. I also find it funny that he took the baby. I didn't realize that. He took the baby with him.
Took the baby with him to Tibet. To Tibet. That baby was like 4 hours old.
Yeah.
Going to Tibet.
And like, that's the only thing that doesn't make sense. What newborn mother is like, yes, please take my newborn child away to a foreign country.
To see her brother.
That's not a real thing.
Who's trying to get his,
I wouldn't be surprised if we go back and look that maybe there was a mention of we have to protect the baby from cicada, but if that's the point, why are you back then?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But again, why are you back? Why would you bring the baby back if cicada is still a threat? Both like kind of flawed logic, but whatever. We're talking about this specific episode, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's to say, I get it, but now the thing is, this episode was so dope because, we're talking about this episode in particular, first and foremost. Let me address that. King Shark shows back up, and it's the King Shark from Earth 2. Mm-hmm. So, okay, cool. And there's a doctor. She was married to the original King Shark dude, and now she got a telepathic relationship with this one, which means she be mental fucking King Shark. She be telling them in telepathy thoughts, you want to see my titties underwater? And King Shark be and he'd be like, sound like Rick Ross. He'd be like, you want to see my shark dick?
Also, can I just say, King Shark roars a couple times. Nigga, when you know a shark can roar, that's not a thing.
I said that when I saw Aquaman. I was like, yo. I was like, yo, like, when do sharks roar, especially underwater? But also, here's the biggest question I have about King Shark that no one has answered for me yet. Where the fuck did you find a pair of jeans that fit a man shark?
Hey, man, the same place that Hulk found his purple shorts, nigga, that's where.
Hey, man, that's spandex. That motherfucker have on regular denim. Regular denim. But at what point they're trying to psycho control Grodd. They tell them they got the cure, which is done. They need to test it on him. I mean, King Shark, they tell them they need to test the cure on him. It's done. And so, King Shark goes crazy because Grodd is in his head. And all of a sudden, just Barry just jab his ass, have Nora jab his ass, that cure. That mom just. And so it was cool, but I didn't get a chance to see all of the episode. And so
I did.
And what did you? Yeah, please.
I mean,
make it quick.
I will.
Because you talk too long.
I do talk a lot. I think one of the things that's really interesting about this is they explore once again. I get most intrigued when Barry is coming into question. This whole season has been about excess because she's a kid and she's coming into this.
Is she a kid? She like 20-something years old from the future.
But she's a kid superhero. You know what I'm saying? She hasn't really.
That's a grown-ass woman, dog.
That has been a superhero
That's a grown-ass woman, dog.
For 5 minutes.
No, she's been more than 5 minutes, dog. Maybe 8.
Anyways, the point is, the episodes that are the most interesting are watching Barry have to really question and think about stuff. And he got called the fuck out by Cisco. And by
he was like, yo, was this your motherfucking plan off from jump?
And then you're just going to inject the cure into people?
Like, we had an agreement, pimp.
Exactly. It's bullshit because if you think about it, what's to stop somebody from walking up to Flash and be like, bye, nigga? And then all of a sudden he a regular ass dude.
And nigga like,
I can't vibrate no more.
Speaking of which, the Flash can vibrate his hand, right?
Uh-huh.
What happens when Iris is on a time of the month and he can't get none? How fast is he going with his hand when he beating off? Like, is he controlling the speed? Like
accelerated healing. He's fine.
Okay.
He's growing it back.
My thing is, no, I don't think you grow the dick back. I think that's the one thing that chooses not to grow back because we can't take this trauma more than once. But his accelerated healing or the speed, what I'm saying, it's like, yo, does he like, yo, I'm going ahead and lay myself back, kick my feet up, got my towel, got my lotion, got my pillow.
I feel like you can't be allowed to jack off because then it becomes that Dave Chappelle joke with the homeless dude holding everybody hostage while he's jacking off. I feel like his shots would be so powerful and so
like Hancock.
And like the way that he throws lightning, he can throw like nut shots and like kill people.
What happened to the Flash? He went crazy. How'd he kill people? Man, he threw semen in their eyes. Excuse me? What do you mean? What do you mean he threw semen in their eyes, man? It was just fast moving semen.
It was just so nasty.
It was super semen.
It was so nasty.
That is so disturbing. Oh my God, I don't know why we had that. But at the end, like,
long story short, Grodd is You find out Grodd is the one that's been causing a bunch of trouble. He's been taking over people's minds as Grodd is known to do. He's going to take over all of the city. The Flash and Excess go to stop him. They have little machines to try and protect their minds, but Grodd is still powerful enough to immobilize them. So King Shark says, you know what? My animal brain cannot be controlled by Grodd. They warn him, if we make you King Shark again, you'll never be human. He says, fuck it, I'm going to do it to save the world. Old girl that was showing him his titties underwater got real upset.
Showing him his titties or her titties?
Her titties to him. You know what I'm saying? She's upset, but she's down with it.
That made me think about this story real quick. So I was doing some research a couple days ago for a bit, right?
Okay.
And there's a marine biologist back in the day.
Okay.
She used to take care of dolphins.
Yeah.
And she got cool with this one dolphin.
Yeah. She used to jack him off, right?
She was living with him and fucking him. Now
She was fucking the
She was fucking. He was, dolphin was laying on his back like. He's right there. He was coming. And so she was living with the dolphin, right?
Yeah.
And at the point after like 5 years, they was like, we need to separate them.
Yeah.
And they was like a couple weeks to a day, couple days to a week later, the dolphin died apparently of a broken heart. Now this story was sad and it fucked me up because first of all, I found out it's a black woman. I was like, we don't do this shit.
Whoa.
I was like, we don't do this shit. But then I had to think about it. There's a moral to this whole story.
Huh.
The moral to the story is black pussy is still undefeated. It will fuck your life up. You understand? You've heard what it's done to grown men. It made a dolphin not want to live no more. It made a dolphin say, fucking like.
Nigga, I bet you every time you tell that joke at Chocolate Sundays, every black, yes!
I've never performed at Chocolate Sundays.
Oh, really?
Nope, because their waiting list is like 4 years long.
That sounds about right.
And I don't have that patience. I mean,
That's
but
fair.
yeah, like, so I was imagining like if she was boning King Shark, like, do he pull down the jeans and just this enormous shark dick pop out?
That's a good question, because there was a whole thing about the Hulk's dick, and apparently it does grow when he hulks out.
Which means
Because there's multiple comics where someone, like, he didn't have no pants on. People are like, God damn! So, like, did the same thing happen to King Shark?
I know it sounds weird to talk about another dude. I'm comfortable with my masculinity.
I am too.
Look, if I would never want to have sex with a woman after the Hulk had sex with her. You know why? Because I'd have to throw my whole leg in there to match up.
Nah, nigga, I had to put my whole body in that bitch.
I'm in this motherfucking pogo stick in my body. Like, do you feel me, girl? Huh? Do you feel me, girl? Huh? Because the Hulk's dick is... Because any woman that has sex with the Hulk, hypothetically, is like, you ain't matching up to my last dude. Bitch, I know he's 8 feet tall.
Well, but then also...
What a humongous tree dick.
The other thing is, on top of that, in order to bring the Hulk out, the nigga has to be in rage mode. Are you sure you want to be fucked by the Hulk?
Well, now we kind of... Yeah, he got to be in rage, but there's a point when the Hulk is just permanent.
Well, I get it. I understand that. But again, his ability comes from anger. If he gets super passionate... Like, heaven help if all of a sudden she a freak and she slapped the Hulk and the Hulk get real mad to the motherfucker.
She the one. That's the one dude who, like, if a woman riding and she twists, she probably can't break his dick. You know what? Why are we talking about this? Let me go. Oh my God, we just really went off the road.
So the end of the story, the moral of the story is King Shark fights Grodd. He saves the day. It's pretty dope. Barry says, "I'll never just force the cure on anybody," and then he gets the brilliant idea of saying, "Why don't we offer it to Cicada?" Because of course he's gonna be like, "I don't want to be a meta."
Yeah.
Nah, nigga, he wants to kill metas. That's a dumb plan.
You know, they have the most weirdest, like, look, we ain't finna offer this motherfucker. We finna shoot him in the neck like an African tribesman for the blow dart. Just,
Goodbye, nigga.
time for you to go to sleep.
Night, night, nigga.
Night, night, nigga. But here's the problem. Only person can say that on Team Flash is Papa Joe.
Or Wally. If Wally would have come back and go, super speed in, night, night, nigga. Oh, XS could do it. She had black.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah, she can.
But I don't see Iris West even saying it too. Like, because I've been always waiting for 5 years of this show to see Iris West get snap off like a real black woman.
Well, she did on Cicada a couple episodes ago. Remember, she popped him in the mouth and said, "We gonna beat you, nigga." And
I wish she would have said
that. And then she picked up her bag and walked the fuck off.
No, she didn't say that. We're gonna beat you. She ain't finna say no, we're gonna beat you. I want that in the script. I want that in the script.
Fair.
As far as Doom Patrol goes, Doom Patrol this week is another great episode. It takes you down a whole nother lane. But I want you to go check out the review with myself and this imbecile here.
You go to the car calling niggas imbeciles?
Imbecile.
Well,
here's the problem with the review. There's no problem. I don't know how much review we got covered with the fact that jokes went flying. I just got a tweet. Matter of fact, I'm glad I can say this while we're recording. I just got a tweet from my homie. Shouts out to Nick Rice, man. He's the head of Zone 10 Customs, who does these dope ass shirts for me that I have, the supervillain status shirts. He wrote, At Mr. J. Washington, I'm trying to watch a review of Doom Patrol Episode 3, but I keep rewinding it because I'm missing stuff from laughing so hard. You and your boy are hilarious. My boy being Winston A. Marshall.
Thank you. Yeah. Wait.
This has been the craziest episode of the Mad Titan. So this is what I want to do now. So we got a couple of we got some calls and from the Mad Titan hotline, which you can call into yourself, 818-276-6947, 818-276-6947. Call in and make sure you leave your questions, comments, and thoughts, and you may hear yourself on the podcast.
You just gotta call Tyrone. Call him.
So we're going to go to the first call and address it right now.
What's up, Jay? This is Matt calling from Florida. I'm just wondering, do you think we will see Sword in Phase 4 of the MCU? Because being that Captain Marvel is involved in Sword, I feel like we should see some type of incarnation of him. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Matt from Florida, first and foremost. His question is, do you think we'll see Sword in Phase 4 of the MCU? If you don't know what that is, Sword is the space unit of S.H.I.E.L.D., basically. They're Sword and S.H.I.E.L.D. Because Captain Marvel is involved in Sword. Do you think we'll see it? Winston, I'll let you go first.
I think absolutely. I mean, the biggest talk that we've said about Phase 4 is that we're getting more into the galactic element of the Marvel Universe. So, we have the Eternals. Like, we're hopefully one day, cross our fingers, we'll get another Guardians of the Galaxy movie. But yes, the fact that Captain Marvel is involved now, and the fact that we really are getting deeper and deeper into the grand Marvel Universe, I definitely believe that we will ultimately see Sword, which will be interesting. I also think we might see a resurgence of S.H.I.E.L.D. We'll see what happens.
I think S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back for sure, but I think with the interplanetary element now, knowing that there are these cosmic threats, that's where Sword comes in. That's where Captain Marvel takes the helm to create Sword. And, we get these different elements. The Nova Corps, comes back into play and things like that. So, yeah, I definitely think that we are going to get that. Thank you so much, Matt, for your call. Let's go to our second call right now.
What's up? What's good, Brother Jay? This is Tracy Woodson calling from Chicago. Just wanted to call and talk to you about Will Smith exiting Suicide Squad 2. Say if they kept Deadshot in, who would you pick to be his replacement? For me, I would pick somebody like Mario Hardwick. I think he's got the charisma. I think he's got, the great acting style, especially dramatics. It would be cool to see him doing something action-based. So just wanted to see what you think, or who else would you have in mind to do Deadshot for Suicide Squad 2. All right, peace out.
All right, shouts out to the homie Chauncey, man, who always hits me up from the crib. I appreciate you. I'll definitely catch you when I'm back in Chicago for C2E2. But Chauncey's question, to reiterate, who would we like to see in Will Smith's role in Suicide Squad? Now, of course, we talked about it earlier. Idris Elba is going to replace Will Smith, but you did give a great suggestion in Amari Hardwick.
That was great.
That was a great one. You were saying how you would definitely go with that.
I mean, between Ghost, between playing Question Mark in Sorry to Bother You, Amari Hardwick, he's been killing it, man. He was in Nobody's Fool. Like, he's got the comedic chops, he's got the action chops. Like, he definitely would have been a phenomenal choice in my opinion. But I'm excited about Idris, man. You can't beat Idris. Idris is the new Denzel. Like, he's out here doing what he does. So let's go.
For me, it would have been Yolande Knoll from Insecure and the First Purge.
Oh, yeah.
Because what he did in the First Purge showed he can have the action and fighting ability.
Yep.
Definitely. And he has the smoothness he needs to have for the character in Insecure. So I think that'll work. But nonetheless, like you just said, Idris Elba is a great choice. There are a lot of good options now when we start asking about casting other people for other roles. Like somebody said, who would replace Wesley Snipes if they needed a new Blade? And I kept saying Mahershala Ali.
I thought that would be great. And that's the rumor right now.
So
did you hear about that? That's actually a rumor that's been going around, is that Mahershala might actually take the role over right now, especially after that second Academy Award. And Marvel was like, "Nigga, come here.
Here's a truck. We're gonna back this all the way up for you. Here's
the dump truck of money.
Here's the dump truck of money. You want this? Yeah. You want this? Here. No. You want another zero? Not a problem, sir. Not a problem. But thank you again, Chauncey. Thank you again, Matt, to all the callers, man. Thank you to everybody. Especially, like I said, you can get your calls in as well. 818-276-6947. 276-6947. Make sure you call from a good spot. Make sure I can hear you and you will hear yourself on the podcast. I want to give a shout out to my members of my Patreon, to the members of the Supervillain Squad, man. Shouts out to you guys, Akeem J. Brown, Brandon Buckingham, DJ Snacks, John Mariano, LK, Mikey Lito, Paisley Dart, Steve Tozen. Thank you all. You too can join the squad as well. Patreon.com/Mr. J. Washington. Before I give you everywhere you can find me, let me pass it over to my boy Winston A. Marshall and tell the people how they can find you.
You can find me all socials, the Swaggy Blerd, THESWAGGYBLERD. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. Definitely check me out on Twitter. Jay and I just go back and forth just talking mad shit on Twitter all day. Like, there's some idiot that was trying to get on one of our sisters about having seen Captain Marvel. Or like, how you gonna cape for this movie? It ain't even out yet. It's like, nigga, she a critic. Stop being a
She gets to
dumbass.
see it. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But
that's how you find me. Jay, thank you for having me again, man. I always appreciate it.
always, bro, whenever you're free, if you want to, the podcast is open. The door is open for you, man. As always, find me Twitter, Instagram at Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington by now. I told you before, go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/JAY Washington 80. The Doom Patrol episode reviews are up with me and Winston. My Captain Marvel review is up there as well. And join the Supervillain Squad on Patreon, patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. It's only $5. I keep throwing up content for y'all consistently, asking questions and things that I don't bring here on the podcast, but I want you to be a part of it. Thank you to everybody who's checked in, everybody who's given a lot of love. Speaking of love, make sure you rate and review. Rate and review is how we keep this podcast going up. If you're on iTunes, throw the 5 stars, throw a review. If you're on Google Play Music, throw the 5 stars. If you're on Spotify, throw it up. Please rate and review, man. I appreciate and love you all. I will holler at you guys next week. Till then, I'm out of here. Peace.